to the king and said to the king, "Know, O king, that it is the law of the Medes and the Persians that no injunction or ordinance that the king establishes can be changed." Then the king commanded, and Daniel was brought and cast into the lion's den. The king declared to Daniel, "May your God, whom you serve continuously, deliver you." And a stone was brought and laid on the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet and the signet of his lords, and nothing might be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and spent the night fasting. No diversions were brought to him, and sleep fled from him. Then at the break of day, the king arose and went in haste to the den of the lions. And as he came near to the den where Daniel was, he cried out in a tone of anguish. The king declared to Daniel, "O Daniel, servant of the most high living God, has your God, whom you serve faithfully and continuously, been able to deliver you from the lions?" Let's pause here. We don't get a story of how Daniel was in the lions. We don't get that. It'd be looking and reading into the text something that's not there if I were to talk about how Daniel's night was in the lion's den. It's not there. What is there is the king's night. Put yourself into this perspective. Your best and highest official, who has served faithfully in the kingdom for 66 years and has done what some would say supernatural things, has just been pitted against you, and because of your own pride, you signed this law saying that, hey, everybody can pray to me. And so now he's miserable. He has been tricked by the high officials. And what's unique about the Medes and the Persians is that once you sign a law, and it has been signed, and it has been declared, you can't change that law. Similar to in our country, when a law is signed, it can be changed. Congress can change it. When the president signs it, we've got the balance of powers. One of the balance of powers is that once a ruling has been made by the Supreme Court, the ruling can only be changed by a direct revocation of the Supreme Court. That's the clearest example that I can give you. So once the Supreme Court rules on something, the only way that can be changed is if all of the justices say, let's revoke it. In the Medes and Persians, the king did not have the power to just revoke what he just signed. It had to be followed. And so Daniel was brought before the king, and Daniel was not freaking out. He wasn't trying to run away. He gladly went before the king and said, hey, it's true, I did pray. And the king is in anguish. He searches for night and day trying to find something, that way to save him, and he can't find anything. And so he puts the signet ring, and this is what I love. He says, Daniel, may your God, whom you serve so faithfully, be able to save you. Would somebody looking at our life today be able to say, you serve your God so faithfully, may he save you? It was obvious in that culture that Daniel was serving his God, but he was not serving his God in such a way that made him an outcast in the society. He was serving his God in such a way with an excellent spirit that he was providing influence to this culture. When something bad happened, I'm sure that if it gave us some more insight, it would say that Daniel did not go run to his Babylonian Facebook when something like this happened. He did not go to his counterparts in the government and say, what have you done to me? He took it. He took it because he knew that in the struggles, God can come through. So let's continue on. This is where it gets good, in my opinion. Let's see Daniel's reaction after the lion's pit has been opened. It says in verse 21, then Daniel said to the king, O king, live forever. That's a great way of saying, King, I still faithfully served you. My God sent an angel and shut the lions' mouths, and they had not harmed me, because I was found blameless before him. And all Then the king was exceedingly glad and commanded that Daniel be taken up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no kind of harm was found on him, because he had trusted in his God. And the king commanded, and those men who had maliciously accused Daniel were brought and cast into the den of lions, they, their children, and their wives. And before they reached the bottom of the den, the lions had overpowered them and broke all of their bones into pieces. That's the I guess that's the R-rated version of the text. What I love is that Daniel says, "O king, live forever." And now these words of persistence and devotion to a king that was not necessarily completely favorable to Daniel. I think that we can see that through these verses that Daniel is not succumbed to bitterness. It's very easy when pressure and persecution start in your life to become bitter. Why is this happening to me, God? I've been faithfully serving you. I thought for sure I'd make my way back to Jerusalem, but no, now I'm getting thrown into a lion's den. Daniel didn't respond like that. Daniel responded with an excellent spirit. Daniel responded saying, "The Lord can save me." Similar to his three friends last week, they said, "We will not bow down. Our God can save us. And even if he does not save us, we'll be delivered into his arms." Let's finish up Daniel 6, 25 to 28. This is where it gets good. This is what happens when we faithfully serve God in a Babylonian culture. Then King Darius wrote to all of the peoples, nations, and languages that dwelt in all the earth, "Peace be multiplied to you. I make a decree that in all of my royal dominion, people are to tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God, enduring forever. His kingdom shall never be destroyed. His dominion shall be to no end. He delivers and rescues. He works signs and wonders in the heavens and the earth. He who has saved Daniel from the power of the lions." So this Daniel prospered during the reign of King Darius and into the reign of Cyrus the Persian. As we faithfully serve and have strong convictions and live with such an excellent spirit, people around us will notice. I love that. They will notice that there's something different about us. Jesus tells us to be salt and light in the earth. Don't lose your saltiness. Don't put your light under a lamp post, but be salt and light. I love that. I want to present to you 3 very quick points that I get from reading Daniel 6. And I think that the more we realize these 3 points, the more it will help us understand living with strong convictions and an excellent spirit. First, you have to know this, especially in the day and age that we're living in. You will seldom get what you deserve from people. Don't expect it. You will seldom get what you deserve from people. Don't expect it. Daniel was serving with people. People let him down. He wasn't expecting fair treatment. He knew that God was sovereign and that people were going to let him down. We need to realize that people will let us down. That we should expect that. Family, friends, co-workers, we're not always going to get what we deserve from people. His friends, people that he had served with, went to the king and threw him under the bus. The most godly man on the throne, the most godly man was thrown into the lion's den. When the world administers its approach in life, it will usually get it wrong. Now, the second point to this is that you will always get what is best from God. Expect it. Don't doubt it. You will always get what is best from God. Don't doubt it. It may not come in the package you like. It may not look exactly the way you would picture it. It may not make sense in our human minds, in our human wisdom. But God's will be done. Don't doubt it. Don't doubt it. Third point. Your ability to handle both of these is directly related to the consistency of your walk with God. You will seldom get what you deserve from people. Don't expect it. You will always get what is best from God. Don't doubt it. Your ability to handle these two is directly related to the consistency of your walk with God. Let's just take a little stroll through the Bible. Abel. Cain and Abel. Did Abel deserve to be killed by his brother? No, he did not. But he was killed. Don't expect it. Joseph was thrown into a pit and sold to slaves. Was he treated right? No. Did he deserve to be treated better? Yes. But don't expect it. Look at what happened in Joseph's life. He was sold into Potiphar's house. Potiphar's wife sent him and said, "You're trying to abuse me." He was sent to jail. Did he deserve to go to jail? No. Don't expect it. Look at God's will throughout his life, though. What happened to Joseph? He was placed as prime minister of Egypt, and he was able to save the Jewish people. God's will. Look at Job. Did Job deserve to lose all that he had? No. Don't expect it. But look at his life. What happened after that? God richly blessed him. Look at Jesus. Was Jesus wrongly accused? Was he brought before the Sanhedrin and thrown before them and saying, "Look, this guy's a blasphemer"? And then he was killed. Did he get what was deserved from people? No. Did he expect it? No. But what happened? On Sunday he rose again. And he's seated at the right hand of the Father Almighty. These three things are crucial if we want to have strong convictions and an excellent spirit. You have to know that in this world you will experience pressure, you will experience persecution, people will let you down. We've just got to expect it. But we have to understand that God's best will come. Don't doubt it. Let me share with you a story. Last year at this time, on June 19th, I was here, many of you know, for 35 days for a chaplain candidate tour. On June 19th, I was sitting in my office, and I received a phone call from my wife. It was a phone call that was not a good one. My friend that I had been counseling with and meeting with back in Broken Arrow, walking through some of his PTSD, had taken his life. To receive that phone call, knowing that we had met a couple of days before I left, was devastating. But it wasn't just devastating for me. He had a wife. And his wife was crushed. Did she expect that? Did she deserve that? No. But let's take a look at what happened over this past year. About 5 months after that happened, we had a guest speaker come to our church that runs a PTSD organization or camp out in California. She came to that service. She met the owner of that, and she committed to coming once a month to share her side of the story, to share what it's like to be a wife on the other side of suicide, to share with them what it's like for their wives if that happened. How many lives have been saved as a direct result of her